Well, good morning to YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all of my loyal viewers for being with me here this morning. We have a lot to talk about. I talked about the American League and how we have 4 teams in a battle for the best record in for the best record not only in the American League, but for the best record in baseball. Today, I need to talk about the National League because all 3 divisions in the National League in Major League Baseball are so tight. I'd even have to find the most compressed pair of jeans I could ever think of. It's so tight. It's so tight right now. I couldn't even be squeezing. I'd have to try to squeeze into a size 50. I'm kidding. I shouldn't sound like that. But anyway, all 3 divisions are so tight, I can't even make heads or tails of them. But here in the next few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that possible. So stick with me. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a ride like I did yesterday. So bear with me, but let's have some fun. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's get started. The National League East is so tight, it's not even funny. The Atlanta Braves have a 1.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the Philadelphia Phillies swept the Baltimore Orioles. However, the Atlanta Braves lost 2 of 3 from the New York Yankees. And right now, this is a very important series. Both series are very important, so now Atlanta only has a 1.5 game lead. However, they have a 4-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers starting tonight. And right now, that may be the only good news that the Braves have, because right now we have a battle of 2 division leaders going at it all the way to the weekend. And this is what I think everybody needs right now. This is what the Braves need. This is what the Brewers need. I'll get to the Brewers here in a minute. I'll get to their side in just a second. However, let's talk about the Braves first. But how in the world are the Atlanta Braves in first place in the National League East? Let's look at the team leaders. Ozzie Abels, 15 home runs. He has a 275 batting average, and he has 49 RBIs right now. Nick Markakis, he's doing his part. How about a 323 batting average, a 389 on base percentage, and a 493 slugging percentage, and he has 58 RBIs and 10 home runs on the season. Those are part of the reasons why the Braves are in first place in the National League East right now. And let's think about this. Mike Foltynewicz has a 2.02 ERA, and he has 107 strikeouts and 6 wins this season. Very impressive. Sean Newcomb, 5 wins, a 3.10 ERA, and 92 strikeouts on the season. And Freddie Freeman, he's doing his part. This is why the Atlanta Braves are in first place in the National League East. I just can't believe, I'm saying it now. Everybody had the Washington Nationals running away with it. Right now, the Nationals are 1 game below 500. I will address that tomorrow morning. I'll address that a little bit more tomorrow. But right now, we have 3 divisions in baseball that are so close. I got to try to make some sort of sense and help you out a little bit. Now, that's Atlanta. Let's go to Philadelphia for a second. They're a 1.5 game back. They have the second wild card as it stands right now. I know it's early to address the wild card, but the All-Star break is like less than 2 weeks away if you stop and think about it. So it's not too early to be thinking about postseason. And the trade deadline is going to be here before you know it. Something to think about. Now for Philadelphia. Listen to these team leaders and you'll see how in the world the Phillies are able to stay with them. Odubel Herrera. He has 14 home runs this season, a 276 batting average, 47 RBIs, a 330 on-base percentage, and a 463 slugging percentage. That is outstanding for a guy for the Phillies. This is what the Phillies need because they were struggling when the season started. Royce Hawkins, 53 RBIs, 14 home runs, and a 249 batting average. Very impressive. And Aaron Nolan, their star pitcher. Believe it or not, Jake Arrieta is not even a factor in this department. But Aaron Nola has been very impressive on the mound this season. 11 wins, a 2.41 ERA, and 116 strikeouts. He leads the team in pitching in all aspects of the pitching. Very impressive. This is why the National League East is tight right now. Now, here's something else. Now, the Phillies this week, the Baltimore Orioles the last few days. While the New York Yankees took 2 of 3 away from the Atlanta Braves. That hurt the Braves big time. And now, here's the deal. The Braves have a 4-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers. It's not going to get easier for them. The Philadelphia Phillies have a 3-game set against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Phillies can really benefit. If they can sweep the Pirates, they can jump into the division lead. This is what needs to happen. The Braves have got to take all 4. They got to take 3 or 4 from Milwaukee. And the Brewers aren't a battle for themselves. And you'll see why here in just a second. But the first thing is first. If the Braves if the division is this tight, going into the All-Star break, which it should be, and I'm not saying nothing yet. If the National League East is this tight at the All-Star break, it's going to be crazy going down the road. And when they get on the after the All-Star break, when the season resumes, look out, because it's going to be heating up. There's going to be some fireworks and there's going to be some tempers flaring, because you know the National League East is literally at this moment up for grabs. I know we haven't had the All-Star break, but it's something you better be thinking about. Now that's the National League East. Let's talk about the National League Central. This is big. The Milwaukee Brewers the Milwaukee Brewers lead the Chicago Cubs by 1 game in the National League Central. Here's the deal. I talked about the Braves end of it just a minute ago. Now they got a 4-game set. Now Milwaukee swept Minnesota. They swept the season series. They swept the Minnesota Twins. The Chicago Cubs have won 6 in a row. Something has to give. Here's the deal. The Brewers have a 4-game set against the Braves. That's something to think about. Now the Chicago Cubs are only 1 game back. They have a 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds at home at Wrigley Field. Here's what needs to happen. If the Cubs now the Cubs they can take 2 or 3 from Cincinnati. If they can sweep the Reds, that'd be great. And if the Atlanta Braves can take 3 or 4 from the Milwaukee Brewers, that would help the Cubs tremendously. The Brewers, I'm going to say it now, they got to win. They got to take 3 or 4. They got to take all 4, because right now, Atlanta and Milwaukee are both in a fight, are both in division battles right now, and everybody knows it. So let's think about this for a minute. The Chicago Cubs, they're only 1 game back. How have they been doing it? Kyle Schwarber, 17 home runs this season, a .247 batting average, and 39 RBIs. He's going to be an all-star, I can almost guarantee it. Albert Almora Jr., how about a .329 batting average, a .370 on-base percentage, and a .462 slugging percentage? Very impressive. The pitching for the Cubs has been fantastic. All right, hold on here. Let me back up. Javier Baez, 61 RBIs, 15 home runs, and a .286 batting average. Very impressive, by the way. So here's the deal. The Cubs hitting has been doing a lot of damage, but the pitching has been fantastic. Namely, John Lester, a 2.25 ERA, 11 wins, and 79 strikeouts this season. Jose Quintana, 84 strikeouts this season. He has 7 wins, but a 4.22 ERA would worry me just a little bit. If you're the Cubs, you don't want to have Jose Quintana on the mound this weekend. You really don't, because the Brewers, like I said, the Cubs have the Reds this weekend, and anything can happen. But I'm telling you, the Milwaukee Brewers, they need to take 4. They got to take 3 or 4 from Atlanta. That's all there is to it. And the Braves are in the same boat too. I'm sorry for addressing the Braves, but the Braves and the Brewers have a series this weekend, so it needs to be addressed. And if the Cubs want to get back in to this series, if they want to get back and take the lead into the division, they got to sweep the Reds, and that's all there is to it. All right. Now we've talked about the National League East and the National League Central and the battles this weekend, and what's going to happen, what needs to happen. Now, the National League West. This is the biggie. It was about 2 weeks ago. The Diamondbacks had a 3.5-4 game lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers. All of a sudden, it's a half game. What happened? Simple. Arizona lost 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Dodgers swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was very important. And here's why. The only good news for the Diamondbacks is starting tomorrow, they have a 3-game set against the San Diego Padres. And the Dodgers are in the same boat. They have a 3-game set against the Los Angeles Angels in interleague play. Now, the Dodgers have all of a sudden found themselves knocking on the doorstep and taking the division lead away from the Arizona Diamondbacks. How have they been doing it? How about a surprise? Max Muncy, 20 home runs, a .280 batting average, and 38 RBIs. He's my halfway point candidate for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. And Matt Kemp, what can you say about him? A .318 batting average, a .354 on-base percentage, and a .557 slugging percentage, 52 RBIs, and 15 home runs. Very impressive on Matt Kemp's part. The pitching for the Dodgers has been fantastic. Alex Wood, a 384 ERA, 5 wins, 84 strikeouts this season. Ross Stripling, 6 wins, a 227 ERA, and 96 strikeouts. Very impressive. Clayton Kershaw has not been a factor, but the Dodgers have been finding ways to get back into the battle for the division. Despite the injury issues with Kershaw and Kenton Medea, the Dodgers have found themselves right back into a battle for the National League West. Now, what about the West Division leader Arizona Diamondbacks? Think about their leadership and take them seriously. Paul Goldschmidt, 19 home runs, a 274 batting average, and 48 RBIs. David Peralta, he stepped up, a 284 batting average, a 348 on-base percentage, and a 505 slugging percentage. That is very impressive on their part. Patrick Corbin, the pitching has been very good. Patrick Corbin, a 305 ERA, 6 wins and 140 strikeouts this season. Very impressive. Zach Greinke, 9 wins, a 336 ERA, and 112 strikeouts this season. Very impressive on the part of the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. So what needs to happen as far as the National League West goes? It's very simple. The Diamondbacks, if they can take 2 or 3 from San Diego, they'll be all right. But the Diamondbacks have got to sweep San Diego just to keep that little insurance policy they have. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they got to sweep the Angels and hope that the Diamondbacks fall somewhere. But Arizona losing 2 or 3 from St. Louis really helped the Dodgers out big time. And everybody needs to understand, every division, it is so tight, it's not even funny. I'm going to recap real quick before I get out of here. The National League East is only a game and a half between Atlanta and Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia swept Baltimore, and Atlanta lost 2 or 3 from the Yankees. Now, the Braves face the National League Central leading Milwaukee Brewers this weekend. The Brewers are in a battle with the Cubs for the National League Central. And they face the Atlanta Braves, who are leading the National League East. We got 2 division leaders facing off this weekend. The Phillies and the Cubs. Now, the Cubs own the first wild card, and the Philadelphia Phillies own the second wild card as it stands right now. Anything can happen, and it usually does. A 4-game set between Atlanta and Milwaukee is so important. Whoever takes 3 of 4 in that series or sweeps all 4 is really going to be in the driver's seat. And that's all there is to it. And the other team will be on the wild card, literally looking or it could be on the outside looking in. The Braves-Brewers series this weekend is so important. The 2 division leaders fighting it out over the weekend, it's big. And I'll say it one more time. The Braves or the Brewers, one of those 2 teams needs to take 3 out of 4 in that series to really have a chance to run away. If they could take all 4, that would be a blessing to either team. And whoever wins that series this weekend is really going to be in the driver's seat. If they get a split, that's important too. Think about it. 2 division leaders over the weekend, battling it out. It's going to be big. And I will keep you up to date on this battle between the 2 division leading teams. The Braves out of the National League East and the Brewers out of the National League Central. It's going to be a very big weekend. This is going to be the most important weekend because we're 2 weeks from the All-Star break. And I'm telling you, it's going to get crazy down the stretch. And I'm warning you now, do not count the Phillies or do not count the Cubs out yet. Do not count those 2 teams out. They can come in and take it for the taking. Everything in all three divisions, the National League West, the National League Central, and the National League East, all 3 divisions are literally going to be up for grabs. And the All-Star break is literally around the corner. It's going to be crazy. And I'm telling you, the craziness comes with fireworks, and it usually comes with short fuses and short tempers. I've seen it before. I've seen it many times, and I guarantee you, it's going to get crazy once we get on the other side of the All-Star break. And once we get out of the trade deadline, we're really going to know who's going to be there, who belongs there, and who doesn't. So, be ready for a battle. Because this weekend, this is the most, in my opinion, this is one of the most important weekends in the National League. And you just found out why. Because right now, everything is up for grabs in the National League. And that's all I have to say. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys for taking the time with me here this morning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. No fancy schmancy names, just type my name down and look for this pretty face, and you'll see all the sports videos that I have done so far. I want to thank you guys.